basketball, I would imagine. Of course, all eyes on Bronny James as he gets ready to take the court in just a little bit. Bronny James entering into the game right behind us as we speak. It's a one-point game, and of course his dad is in the building.
To a scenario like this, do you really want to eat blueberries? Is that, I mean, personally, I'm going for pizza.
If you're hungry.
Yeah, he showed up court, space the floor, etc.
Definitely, I feel like I have an advantage. You know, we played NBA rules. We played with the NBA ball. We shot the NBA three. We had the shot clock. So I'd say we definitely have an advantage for sure. I'm very versatile. I could play defense. I could play offense. I could block shots.
One of the things I ask you guys always at the McDonald's All-American game, you'll probably remember this, is after you've made all this money playing basketball and you've had a great career, what are you going to do next? Now into a building and has an individual workout, his skill level is extremely high for a guy like that. And Christine,
do you feel like he needs to put a little bit more weight on him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He does. He needs to get stronger, but and he's put on weight. He's gotten stronger.
Right.
And now, mind you, this is not a $9 home neighborhood. You know, this is a starter home.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Bronny's going to be at the free throw line here with 0.2 seconds left to go as they attacked in transition, filling the lane. That's one of the things he did really well actually at USC. The ability to run the floor, fill the lanes, and
6'1.5", and again 6'1.5" barefoot. By the time you get on the court, he's 6'3", and so I mean that's how we have to look at it. But athleticism will never be a question mark when you're regarding Bronny James.
Bronny James with 4 points so far, I believe, in this matchup.
Screens. He looks a little bit more comfortable in his second day here, which is, you know, you'd expect that at 19 years old, having never played in this environment. So far, good luck for Bronny.
And love to see that, especially for Bronny. And we mentioned earlier, talking with Rich Ball yesterday, and what I know about Rich, he's going to look for a scenario for Bronny where he can be that guy, a guy that doesn't have to play with the basketball in his hands, but can go make shots, which we know he can do, but also be a defender. And just from that standpoint, Bronny's showing much better today that that's the role for him at the NBA level. And what he told you, Bobby, about the comp being Davion Mitchell, I think that's great self-awareness of Bronny to understand where he sees his role being at the NBA level.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where he is right now, kind of trying to pattern himself after a player. But I think the one thing, you know, we had Lawrence Frank on earlier here, and he said the biggest thing that league teams take away from is where a player was the day before and where they are right now, and how they've kind of progressed. And the theme,
7,500 players in there. That database told me that his closest comparison is actually Gary Harris from the Orlando Magic. Longer arms than Gary Harris, stronger frame at the same age, but and that's the kind of role I could see him playing in the NBA.
Do you like that player comp, Corey?
I do. I just had Gary Harris in Game 7.
one thing too, we saw it yesterday. He had two of his baskets, his only two baskets were on a nice little floater in the lane, and we saw that at the end of the half second quarter here. He missed the floater there, but if he's going to get in the paint over bigger defenders, that's something that he's going to have to be comfortable with. And
Be around, of course, had opportunity to meet Rob at a very early age and spent his first 2 years of high school playing for. Is that different from Reed Sheppard?
Reed Sheppard was more disruptive playing the passing lane with active hands. Got 2.5 steals per game.
Right.
Than a lot of guys in the league that can make shots.
And the fact that he was able to come off the bench and be productive, I believe that's what intrigues many NBA executives for Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams throughout the majority of their career.
well, I think you look at teams where his range is right now, certainly probably in that 3 to 5 range. So you're looking at certainly Houston, Portland at 7. As far, I don't think he gets to 7, but kind of where he can fit in.
Player comps today.
And because he has not thrown an all-star in their TV and they see going off in the playoffs. The reality behind anyone coming out of college and saying, I'm going to compare him to that guy who's already getting the job done at the NBA level to an MVP level guy, I just think that's, unheard of.
That's where he gets in trouble sometimes. He over dribbles and then jumps in the air. And when you jump in the air and you leave your feet there, there's two options. One is you're going to make a bucket, or two, you're going to have a turnover. And you mentioned Enrique Freeman.
And Bill Self told us plain and simple, he would not play. But you see Brown in free agency. Christian Brown steps right into that role and possibly win another championship in the finals. So, but Christian Brown, after a year of development where he did play and was a large part of what they did last year,
I think the hardest part with some of these championship level teams, certainly like, whether it be Denver or maybe
earlier this year, about what his role was, because Christian Brown, you make that jump and you feel like you should be more involved in the straight up, hey, this is how you're going to help us. You play this role and you'll find yourself in a rotation. If you don't, you may not be in that rotation. And he
hands on the ball with 4 seconds left, took one dribble.
Playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball.
Yeah.
Right?
especially last night, minus 24 in rebounds, second chance points, loose balls, all the little things. You know, the one thing that's interesting with Indiana.
I thought A.J. Johnson, by the way, played pretty well yesterday. As Bronny lines up a three-pointer in the corner again. Feet set, corner threes. It's where he's most comfortable from beyond the arc in the catch-and-shoot situation. But no.
And still do the job defensively as well as distribute the basketball and make open jump shots. That's always going to be important to the eyes of the execs.
Scorer right now for St. Andrews. Feet set. Let the guard create the opportunity for you to get a wide open look. Good active hands that time playing in the passing lane.
To be able to be vocal and be able to call out defensive coverages.
Oh. Out on the court over in Australia right now. Guys that we've been familiar with in the college game here, and even guys that played a little bit in the NBA, like Dellavedova did. When Zubac got caught on the perimeter with Luka, it was over. It was over. Yeah. So do you have anybody that potentially can add length out on the court for you?
And Miami on March 7th, when Jason Kidd made the change to put Gafford and Derrick Jones Jr. in the starting lineup.
You know, the five on the court, the guys on the bench, and their coaching staff. It's basically them against everyone else. And you saw it in games 3 and 4. They basically answered everything that Minnesota tried throwing at them.
I think we see another Ant-Man class.
All right, Team St. Andrews wins that one at 90-83. In attendance. Bronny, it was very clear from all of us here watching you today versus yesterday that you seemed a little bit more comfortable out there. What was the difference between what you did yesterday and today?
I always, try to play the right way. My teammates and my coaches just encourage me to be aggressive because they believe in me. I feel like that's a big part of why I come out and, play the right way for my team and my teammates. So, yeah, they really helped me today.
You mentioned the comps to Drew Holiday, Davion Mitchell, defensive-minded players. How do you see yourself continuing to be able to impact, regardless of level, that end of the floor in particular?
Yeah, I always try to come out and play with my most effort. Try to play the right way, but I play hard, and I'm gonna always play hard. And I feel like that, that shows up on the defensive end. But yeah, I just try to, focus on that, and that's what gives me minutes in the long run.
Bronny, today you played a little more off the ball than you did yesterday. You had the ball more in your hands. Are you a little more comfortable at this stage, especially against the professional environment, with playing off the basketball and being the recipient of a lot of great passes in comparison to having to be the playmaker?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, see myself, having the ball every possession. And the coach doesn't see me having the ball every possession. So I'm comfortable playing, the 1 and the 2, whether I'm playing on ball or off ball. So, they put me in good position today to produce and, be great.